They've gotten so horribly wrong. General Piz out, then all of his men are dead. As far as I can tell, I'm the last one alive.
I was a mild-mannered chemist. I formulated your toothpaste. Then they came, and everything changed for all of us. First, we sent out our bravest, most competent, most handsome diplomat to meet with them. It didn't go well. They call Earth Region 72. They want to capture us, enslave us, and take our planet. If we have anything to say about it, our region will remain free.
They're the best. They're the best.
Come on, man!
They released Monster O.
They're here already! You're next! You're next! You're next!
Hello and welcome to episode number 33 of Region Free. I hope everybody is doing well out there tonight. I'll do our brief Patreon plug, and then we'll dive into the show tonight. I want to give a big shout out to our patron, Captain Halloween, who is in the chat. He has suggested that we do a Fog live commentary because John Carpenter's The Fog takes place on April 21st. And this year, April 21st, just so happens to land on a Thursday. So go ahead and mark your calendars for our The Fog live commentary coming next month on the 21st, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you have the great Captain Halloween to thank for that. If you would like to request a show topic or a movie for us to do a live commentary for, follow the link in the description and become a patron today. All right. I'm going to go ahead and bring on tonight's panel. Joining me first from the Flesh Wound Horrors. No, I'm sorry. The Flesh Wound Features YouTube channel. Dan, how you doing, Dan?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Piz?
Doing very well. Doing very well. Just change the name of the channel to Flesh Wound Horror.
I know. We make it confusing, but it was a film company. Then it was. It's a big, complicated thing. But yeah,
I'll get it. I'll get it eventually.
It's all good. It's all good.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. Excited to talk about some movies tonight and some Nick Cage, of course, and all sorts of cool stuff tonight. I'm excited.
Yeah, right on. All right. Also with me tonight, the golden voice of Region Free, the professor, B-Movie Mike. How's it going, Mike?
What's up, guys? I'd give you a let's get ready to rumble, but then I'd get sued.
We can't have. We've already got
Can't
two
be
more
having that
lawsuits. No,
Yeah.
can't have that. How you
But
doing,
it's good
Mike?
to be back. Doing great. Enjoying some mango Pepsi and chilling out.
Very cool. How's things in Florida?
It's been really good. We're supposed to get some storms, but that's pretty normal this time of year. It's been nice. Been in the 80s and 90s and beautiful.
Cool. Very cool. Well, it's good to see you, man. I know you took a little break there, but it's good to always good to have you back.
Well, life's been crazy busy, but I imagine it's like that for everybody. So, I wish I could be more available. Hopefully the first quarter of the year will be, the worst, and then I can kind of chill and enjoy the summer. Hopefully, we'll see.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Also joining me tonight, also back from a bit of a break, but she is she took her vitamins, she said her prayers, just like the Hulkster, and she's ready to rock and roll. How you doing, Jamie?
Doing good. How's everybody?
Doing good. Good to see you. How you been?
I'm doing good. I'm getting there. I'm, doing what the doctor tells me, taking my medication, taking my good vitamins. I got some really good super vitamins. So, they're actually helping me quite a bit. So my energy level is lifting. And now that spring is coming and spring is here. I'm sure I'm going to start feeling a little better.
Good.
So.
And especially if they're those special vitamins Hulk Hogan was taking back in the early 80s, you're going to get buff quick.
Oh, yeah. I want to get buff. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't just the prayers that were get him bulked up. It was those special vitamins.
Yeah.
Just don't strangle anybody, Jamie. Keep that rage.
Yeah, don't do that.
I'll try.
Yeah. Jamie's going to be, we're going to see Jamie on the news. She strangled 20 men.
Specifically someone named Mandela Man, who is driving me absolutely insane with his Mandela effects. He's bringing out evil, Jamie. That's bad.
Just hide the Bowflex. Just lock that up.
There you go. But good to see you, Jamie.
Good to see you guys too. I'm glad to be back.
Also joining me tonight, all the way from New York City, Stone Gas Man. How's it going, Stone?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you very much. Had a busy week. I mean, like Mike says, crazy busy is definitely the right term, because when you work night shift 10 hours every night and then you go home and you're like, oh, I just want to sleep for forever until the end of time. But I am so happy to be here and talk about some movies, and it's great to see all of you guys. All
right. Good. How's everything in New York?
A little rainy. It was actually it was really raining this morning when I got home, but it's cleared up a little bit, and got to go out and run some errands, go to the movie theater, and more than ready to share my experiences today with you all.
Very cool. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, the creator of Sam Slams, and I think she may have a slam loaded up for us tonight, if you're good. Sam, how are you doing?
What up? It would have been really awkward if you brought on somebody that wasn't me. You again. You're the one that kind of coined it. No, but good to be here. Also, we have a couple birthdays, so we have Laundry in the chat, I saw, and Laundry's cat Annabelle is 4 years old today. So shout out to Annabelle, because I know Annabelle watches Region Free every time.
Well, happy birthday! Happy birthday to Laundry Art, and happy birthday to Laundry Art's cat.
Oh, Laundry's birthday isn't until October.
Oh, so it's just the cat.
Just the cat.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Annabelle.
Well, Annabelle. Meow meow. That means happy birthday and cat. I hope Laundry got her some catnip and maybe a big ball of string.
You hope that's what it means in cat.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I'm like, you got the accent wrong. The inflection.
It could have meant something completely inappropriate, and the cat's really confused right now.
He wants to do what to me?
Annabelle is a former viewer of Region Free, I think, after that.
Yeah, also, it is The Undertaker's birthday. So The
Undertaker.
Oh.
Future Hall of Famer in a couple weeks.
How old is Mean Mark?
57.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, makes sense.
I think he's still a fellow Floridian as well.
I thought he was in Texas.
He was in Florida for a long time because Tampa is where they train. So, like, a lot of them would, like, Hulk Hogan was living there when he was doing his TV show. And so I don't know if he still has a home in Tampa or not, but he used to be a Floridian at one point.
Yeah, generally it's like either here in Georgia. I'm less than 10 minutes from Ric Flair's house, which is awesome. Or it's Tampa. It's one or the other nowadays.
Yeah. Chris Jericho's in Tampa. I mean, there's a lot of them.
That is true. That is true.
Well, that's pretty cool. Let's do some shout outs to folks in the chat before we get started. RJ Skarinki, Gary North, there's the Daily Ghost, Indie Phantom, Jess Graham, Cable Channel 11. We got DJ Donley, Ben Grimm, Holiday Styles, Joe Reese. How's it going, Joe? Let's see who else is with us tonight. Rock Music Forever 90, Robert Long, Brian Trash, Anthony Anderson, Joe Bob Tarheel, Punisher Batman fan, Dave Vanderhoff. And we got a packed little chat tonight. There's Laundry Arts. So yeah, very cool. Well, let's go ahead and dive into some topics tonight. We had a big a fairly big horror release over the past weekend. The new Ty West joint, an A24 release, X. Did everybody get out to see X? I know Mike didn't, but I think everybody else did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Interesting. Dan, I believe you've already covered it on Flesh Wound Features, but did you want to go ahead and did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you find it immoral?
Oh, totally immoral, and I loved it. It's just a love letter to Tobe Hooper, particularly Eaten Alive, and I wish we had more movies like this. It's just a down and dirty, full of skin, lots of we were talking 70s Bush earlier, and originating that a little bit. Not too bad on that front. I don't want to dissuade people. It's not like one of those jungle movies Lauren likes where they're chopping through with the machete to see anything, but I really had a lot of fun with it. I haven't watched anything like that in a theater in a very long time. I think it's a really good slasher. Pretty simple movie. It's an A24 movie that almost for non-A24 fans, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think if you're like, I don't know, I don't like The Witch, I don't like Midsummer or whatever, I don't think you should let it dissuade you from seeing X. I love all of those, but don't let it dissuade you. This is just a good, old-fashioned, funny, just good time slasher.
Yeah, I thought I was the only one who went because I think you watch it and you go, there's a lot of chainsaw in here. But then, I picked up some Eaten Alive vibes too.
More so, I think. Yeah.
But I will say one thing: it's not sleazy. It's not sleazy. And it is a straightforward slasher. But I felt like there was a lot going on. There were a lot of themes going on in the film too. So if you want a straightforward slasher, it's there. If there's something a little deeper you want to dig for, it's there. If you just like Mia Goth's moaning, you get plenty of that too. Rock Music Forever 90 loved that. So there you go.
I think we need Mia Goth as Tracy Lords.
Oh,
nice.
Yes.
See, we've got Dr. CZ Death, Chris in the chat. He enjoyed X. Yeah. Stone, I know you just went and watched it like you just got out of the theater pretty much, right? What did you think of X?
Yeah. I went to the Alamo Draft House just a few hours ago, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I mean, like I told Sam on Twitter, I haven't had this much fun since I was back in the jungle and opened up the shellac can. I mean, this was a blast from start to finish. I love Ty West's ode to the 70s in terms of not only horror but also skin flicks. I loved all the characters. I especially love the music. There's actually a musical interlude in the middle of the movie, which is like a centerpiece. Not going to give anything else away as far as horror is concerned, but that musical centerpiece, I felt like I was in cinema heaven. I mean, this movie was such a blast. I plan on watching all of Ty West's movies after this because I haven't seen any of the others. I'm ashamed I haven't seen The Innkeepers or anything like that. But I'll tell you one thing. Mia Goth is now one of my top 3 final girls, along with Jessie Bradford from the original Black Christmas, as well as Jane Levy from the Evil Dead remake. I mean, from start to finish, I had the best time. No jump scares, just terrifying, in many, many ways and subtle ways, funny. I was in heaven when I saw this in the theater, and I'm still shocked that I enjoyed this as much as I did. I mean, I think every horror fan should see it. I mean, absolutely, it should be required viewing. It may be, and in closing, because I want to let the ladies talk and everything, but I know it's too early. But I highly doubt any horror film is going to top the year than this for me. I doubt the Salem's Lot remake is going to come close. I doubt any other horror film this year is going to come even close to how much I loved X.
When you got out of the theater, did you ask anybody if they want to see how hard you are?
I mean, I had a lot of brain orgasms while watching this, but I mean, unfortunately, I was the only one in the theater, or rather, fortunately. I mean, I enjoyed my pirate punches and my dinner just watching, X, and it was just incredible. And on a side note, after seeing the trailer for Robert Eggers' The Northman again, that's going to be the next one I see in the theater next month.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes.
That looks so good. Yeah.
That looks so good. It does.
I did ask one of the theater staff to see how happy I was after walking out of theater, and I nearly ended up in jail. So
makes sense.
They didn't appreciate it. I don't get it. I was like, I love your movie.
It's not Hollywood, Des. Come on.
I don't know. Sam, I know you. Just go ahead, Sam.
I mean, you could have approached that. Go ahead. All right. Without spoiling too much, I am going to touch on some themes, which, if you get to see it in the theater, it's not like it's a big deal. And I think you can kind of get an idea of where everything's coming from by some of the trailers and some of the stuff that's already on Twitter. And I liked X. I just didn't like it to the extent that everybody else is raving about it, because it's shot beautifully, and I like everybody in the cast. I like the characters and I like the actors, and everybody's just really doing fantastic jobs. So the thing that didn't really play for me, and this is not a criticism of the film itself, it's more so just my own personal perspective, is that there is a lot of juxtaposition of youth and old age, and you have our characters, and they're all in the prime of their lives, and they're all, totally in tune with their sexuality, and in healthy ways. I really like the fact that the movie depicts like sex workers as regular people, and hey, they're not degenerates, and they're all like totally fine with sex, right? That was nice. Also, Brittany Snow's character, Bobby Lynn, is probably the best fleshed out character, since she's not just your dumb blonde. She actually is smart. She is contributing to the porno that they're making. And she shows real empathy later on towards the old lady. So she might be my favorite character of that movie. So the issue that I had is just kind of playing the sexuality of the older people as something to recoil at, and also it's played for laughs. And I'm just kind of like, I understand that they're the exact opposite of our group of characters, but like, can we stop doing that and treating old people having sex as like, I don't know, just horrifying? Because guess what? We're all going to get old. So, and I mean, I'm going to kind of try and leave it at that without getting too much into the plot itself for anybody who hasn't seen it. So, wasn't really into that. But I also, I thought this was a really neat touch. So, Brittany Snow's character's boyfriend, I think it was Jackson, that was his name, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we talk a lot about toxic masculinity in movies, but I actually thought he was like the opposite of that. Like,
yeah,
very healthy masculinity.
Yes.
And I'm not talking about the fact where it's like he's standing in a doorway naked in one scene. You can't see his dick, but you can just see the silhouette. And you just see it like, it's like it unrolls like a fire hose.
Yeah.
Heard about it, like it's no big thing. And, that's obviously not the hallmark of healthy masculinity. I'm sorry if I put it that way. But, he's helping the old man look for his wife at one point because she gets confused. And, because he used to be a Marine and he's just like, nah, I'm going to go find her. And, it's just kind of very like, take charge. And even, Wayne, who is the strip club owner, I guess, or manager, who knows. He's in his 40s. Everybody else is quite a bit younger. And, you'd think he'd be more of a scumbag, but he's not. He's just, everybody's really well fleshed out.
Yeah.
So it's just mostly my complaint about, like, let's not put up, the sexuality of older people as a joke or horrifying or anything like that. And I mean, I had some issues with the third act. Like, it gets really fucking, like, whackety schmackety, like, slapstick. So that kind of killed it for me. But I mean, overall, I'm going to give it a B, and I would recommend everybody go see it.
I totally agree with, I thought the characters were, West gave them just enough development to make them at the very least semi-relatable. Every single one of them. They're all, reasonably nice.
Yes.
Just, I would say, or, they don't seem like over the top caricatures of what you would expect like a 70s porn actor to be, or like the sleazy, like you mentioned it, Mia Goth's boyfriend, who's much older, and he's a little shady, but he's not like the typical sleazy strip club owner with the cigar and his gut hanging out. He's like, come over here, sit on my lap, baby, and we'll talk about the first thing that comes up, So yeah, I loved all the characters, and I don't feel exactly the same way you do about the geriatric sex, but I also felt sorry for them too, because they're at they're the polar opposite of the young people. Of course, they're older, but you said it. They're young, they're free, they're able-bodied, they've got their whole lives in front of them, and then you have this older couple who are just full of anger and resentment and loss because they're at the end of their lives and they didn't do what they wanted to do with their lives, and they're a little batty because of it. So I felt bad for, I don't know, I didn't want anything bad to happen to the youngsters, but I felt bad for the villains. So
I wish that had been fleshed out a little bit more with our villains, like, connecting to them more. And I mean, I think that, Ty West did as good a job as you could in 90 minutes, because this is a real quick watch. And, awesome by me. You know, I like a nice 90-minute movie. But yeah, just maybe like touch on that a little bit, because yeah, it's like we're all gonna get old, but old people still fuck, you know. We may get old to the point where we have physical limitations. But yeah, I guess more of that sense of loss and regret, and not taking advantage of the time that they had when they were young.
Yep.
I heard from someone in the nursing home field, you would not believe the amount of sex that happens in the nursing home.
Oh man, they did a
go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. No, go.
Well, there's a place in Florida not far from here called The Villages. All right, and it's a huge retirement community. And it has the highest rate of venereal disease of any other place in Florida. I mean, they must be like rabbits over there. They're pulling each other off of carts right there in the middle of the street. I don't know what's going on, but those people know how to party.
They just hang their dentures on the door.
Elderly, they can still party.
God bless
what's
them.
up.
God
Yeah,
There's a movie there.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah,
I don't know if it's a movie I would watch, but yeah, it's a movie there.
There's a movie there.
That might be A24's next film.
Exactly.
it's like It follows too, but it's just in a nursing home now.
It follows you to the villages.
It follows you, but it's got one of those walkers where you get a.
It follows you to the early bird special.
There you go. Yeah.
Sorry, I can't help it. No, I mean, but yeah, it's like after my grandmother died, my grandpa got a girlfriend, and they used to go and like have sex in my grandpa's RV in a fucking Walmart parking lot.
Wow.
This was just regular occurrence. So
they're wilder than me. I've never in a Walmart parking lot. Wow.
Well, I mean, they're in an RV, so it's not like anybody's seeing you.
Yeah. Wow.
Can I throw out a question?
How do we just segue out of that?
I don't know how to segue out of that. Stone, help us here. Get us out of this discussion.
Let me throw a question out real quick, because look, I mean, I'll just say that, you know, the woman, the older woman in the movie, she was definitely not Viagra-vated. I'll tell you that. But comparably speaking to M. Night Shyamalan Blab's Old, do you think that this movie handles the themes of old age better than that one?
I've not seen Old, but one of the themes I really latched onto in this movie too was because, you know, it's a horror movie, it's a slasher movie, but it's also about the horrors of growing old and becoming physically and mentally infirm.
So it's kind of like George Romero's flick that they released last year, but with porn in it. So that's why the guy was so disheveled and lost, because he was actually had like VD, and the infection had gone into his bloodstream, and that's why he was confused and delusional.
That's very possible,
and that's why he didn't want to go back out there. I don't know.
Very possible. Jamie, I know you've seen X. Your thoughts?
I loved it. It does have a little pacing issue. I thought, you know, it was a little bit slow in spots, but the end made up for it for me. I saw many homages in it, more than what you guys did, I think, because the music reminded me of The Shining. I saw some Lake Placid in there. I saw some, you know, obviously Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Oh gosh, if I sat down and thought about it more, I would have I should have wrote a list out. But I was naming off movies as my husband and I were sitting there, you know, watching it. And he's like, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. I thought it was shot really well. The overhead shot in the pond when she's swimming is fantastic. Oh, that's the one. That one reminded me of Last House on the Left. And also a little bit of I Spit on Your Grave. I really, really was bothered a little bit by the age thing, kind of like Sam was. As a person who's aging myself, and I will be wrinkly like that probably within a decade. Maybe not that bad, but it did bother me because it made me start thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to start thinking, about this one day. Are me and my husband going to stay connected with each other on an intimate level? So it brought up questions, but I wasn't offended by it. It was difficult to watch the part where, the deed happens, but, we got through it. There was only one other couple in the theater, and then one weird dude that was by himself up in the corner. And I was like, I don't know what this dude's doing here, but this is weird that he was sitting up there all by himself. Coming to a movie like that alone is kind of strange. I enjoyed it. I love the music. I knew they were going to let Britney Snow, do that song. I didn't know about that song. I knew that she would end up singing, though, because you can't have her in a movie and not feature a little bit of the fact that she can sing, because she has a very lovely voice. And I really enjoyed that little interlude. Also, I know we're not spoiling anything. We're trying not to spoil anything, but I did like the fact that there was a conflict between the cameraman and his girlfriend over, the situation, and it switched around, and that was kind of an interesting little twist there. And I really loved the twist at the end with the preacher. So thought it was great.
There is an end credits, by the way, for anybody who hasn't watched it yet.
I missed it. But I know what it is.
Yeah.
Same. I just was like, I'm good.
I had to pee.
Me too. But see, while I was doing that, I was checking my phone. Is there an end scene? And I was like, oh, I got to go back in now. So, and when I watched it alone. My girlfriend didn't want any part of it. And it was me and like at least 3 other just dudes, solo dudes.
We all sit together, you just didn't know each other.
And what's funny is I was like the first person to get in there, and I always go for like that middle of the aisle seat. So the next guy who comes in there sits behind me, like literally right over my left shoulder. The next guy comes in and sits like right over his shoulder. So we're all in a line watching this. You know what I mean? And yeah, I was just like, well, if they're doing anything, I'm not going to be able to see it. So.
No, but the guy in the back row, he's got the best view. So if anybody is, he gets to see everybody doing it.
That's true. Maybe that's what he was thinking. I don't know.
I was at my theater. There was a couple there, and at least 3 times the girlfriend asked him if they could just leave. It was,
Really?
It was hilarious.
Aw, that's wimpy.
There was some audible chuckles in my theater during.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. What was funny when I went back into the theater, there was one of the staff in there already cleaning, and he was like looking at me, and I was like, or no, he looked at me kind of weird, and I kind of pointed to the screen, and he goes, "There's nothing after the credits," and I go, "Yeah, there is." No, there's not. I go, "Yeah, there is. My phone says there is." Oh, so he just went on, and then like it pops up, and he goes, "Oh, I guess there is." So he just wanted me to get the hell out of there so he can clean it and go on, But yeah, and
can I throw out that this is definitely an ode to horror films of the 70s, but at the same time, unlike I did not like Cabin Fever. I was one of those ones that denounced Cabin Fever when it came out in the day, because what bothered me about that movie is that not only did it quote unquote homage Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it literally stole shots from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They don't do that here. Yes, you think of Texas Chainsaw, but at the same time, there's not like any like exact references. It doesn't steal anything. It really goes on its own dusty trail, dusty and bloody trail. And that's another reason why I love the fact that it homages those old films without ripping them off in terms of a shot or a set piece or anything like that. I mean, and look, I'm sorry. I mean, for all those out there that are Cabin Fever fans, I hated that movie because of the fact that it relied so much on those older films in terms of shots and film technique and all that. Ty West, he does something completely original here. Yeah, I mean, here again, psychologically, yes, you think, okay, it's the same state as this movie, or it might be the same setting as another, but there's no direct references. There's no like literal rip-offs of shots or anything like that. And that I appreciated and loved so much. It was a true original. It was an absolute true original.
Oh, go ahead, Jamie.
I was just going to say one other thing that I appreciated a lot too was the fact that some of his shots, like he would show you something that was going to happen, and then it would take a while for it to happen. So you had anticipation in that same way that like Hitchcock used to talk about, hey, you know, we show them that there's a bomb under the table, but we don't tell that to the characters, just to the audience. And then the audience has to anticipate. So it creates a suspense. And there was a couple points in the movie where I was like, oh my God, that is fantastic. That is genius. I love it. And I can't wait to actually do my own video on this because guys, it's going to not be spoiler free. I'm going to totally run the business on the movie. So when you watch my own review on it, you know, expect spoilers. So.
Yeah. I shot my review earlier today and you mentioned the scene with the overhead shot in the pond, you know, for me, I mean, West created more tension in that 2 minutes than most filmmakers can muster with 90 minutes at their.
I fell in love with it because as soon as that shot started, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be such a great ride. I'm going to love this movie. That was fantastic.
And the other thing I think you're talking about in the barn, like I saw that and I went, oh God, no. Then like you see it coming and you're, oh.
Yep. And then there's the other one that happens in the driveway. Yeah, at the end when the final girl is leaving.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's shot way down low, and you're wondering, and it's awesome. I love that kind of suspense. It just draws you right in, and it's why I love the movie. And it's getting 4.5 hearts from me. So
my heart was pounding. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say, you know, to add on to what you said, Stone, about, you know, West effortlessly kind of captures that. You know, he did it with House of the Devil, the look and feel of an 80s movie, and he does it here with the 70s. Just really, he doesn't do anything over the top, and he you know, or like, you know, he's not adding any like film elements to make the picture look grainy or, you know what I mean, anything like that. And it's not even about the grain, or it's just I don't know, there were at least 3 or 4 shots in the film where like I just almost audibly out loud in the theater like said, that looks like a 70s movie. So
the actors too, everybody felt like that you were just watching a movie made in 1979.
The dialogue was really good, and I also thought that it wasn't as gory as I was expecting. It was a lot less gory than I was expecting. So I was actually pleasantly surprised by that, because that takes me back to that, you know, original Texas Chainsaw Massacre feel, where you feel like you're seeing something way gorier than what you're actually seeing, which I really liked. I thought that was great.
Yeah, definitely. So I think
I'm sorry. I just wanted to point out one more shot, because I agree with the shot of the lake.
Yeah,
that is a fantastic shot, and I know a lot of people have spoken about it, but I really liked the shot where they're driving and they go past the cow on the side of the road and have to like drive through the roadkill.
Yes,
kind of like they're in this line of traffic and they're having to drive through entrails, but it's really subtle because it really fits in with the themes of life and death. And you kind of like, if you pull back out, it's, you know, we're all going to the same place. It's just a matter of how we get there.
Yeah.
And that one, that shot really stuck with me. I thought it felt very, very natural for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, in that same scene, there's a skull later on down the road as they're driving on the road. There's like a cow skull on the side too that I noticed, and I thought, oh, that's good. You know, having that you know, that decayed skull there is perfect. I like that a lot.
What were you gonna say, Stone?
Kudos kudos to casting, because I'll tell you, Mia Goth, she looks like she transported straight from a Gerard Damiano movie in the 1970s to the present day. I mean, oh man, I loved everybody in this movie. I'm not gonna say who plays the older couple. I'm not gonna give that away at all. I mean, I'm sure everybody knows by now who plays them, but I'm certainly not going to give it away. The casting, the music, the tension. I mean, you were talking about the lake shot. I mean, my heart was pounding. It was just pounding. And Ty West, he takes his time. He's patient. He is so patient with these shots. I love it. I love the patience and the buildup. It's, oh man. Yeah, I can't say. Yeah.
Did anybody else, like the first time you saw that character, did you go, huh? Like I recognized it immediately. And like I kept thinking, okay, there's going to be some twist, and one of these characters isn't real, and I don't know how I'm going to feel about that. But it didn't do that. It was very straightforward in the third act. And I would much prefer that over some M. Night Shyamalan thing. You know what I mean? So
I thought that was coming.
I have to admit, I didn't know until 2 days after I saw it about that particular little thing. I didn't know about it until 2 days later. And then I went downstairs and I told my husband, he's like, get out. Because it didn't, I knew it was makeup, but it didn't occur to me, So that was good. That was good. They got me.
So it seems like we all are singing the praises of Ty West's X. Even Sam had some issues with it, but she still gives it high marks and says watch it. So I don't think I've heard any negativity toward this movie, really. Just about everything that I've seen people post online or in the comment section of my posts have been, pretty positive. So
95% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh.
All the serious critics out there loved this movie, which is insane. I've never seen that before for a slasher movie. Seriously.
Yeah. Well, cool. I mean, that's awesome. Ty West deserves it. He's done some great movies that have kind of flown under the radar. It's good to see him get a theatrical release, and I hope it's doing well. Yeah. So if you haven't seen X, definitely go and check it out. It gets the region-free stamp of approval.
Yes,
that's for sure. So yeah. Has anybody? I know Uma is also a new horror release that's out now. I've not heard well, I did hear one thing about it from, I forget what the publication was, but they were kind of mixed about it. But it seems like it's kind of flying under the radar. Anybody get a chance to see it or plan on seeing it?
I'm really gonna try it tomorrow.
So yeah, I'm really hoping for this weekend, because I just ran out of time, and this is okay. It's a horror movie. You've got Sandra Oh, and the tagline is "Don't become your mother." I'm in. You got me. And I know I've been hearing just kind of like things about it, but that's fine. I think it's going to stoke my anxiety enough to the point where I'm going to be terrified and never want to watch it again. That's best case scenario.
I'm hoping it comes to my theater, because I can't guarantee it will, because I really have a podunk theater. I'm telling you, it's really podunk, but I'm hoping they'll get it.
I had to travel to see X, and I was gonna maybe do a back-to-back with that in Uma, but I was just kind of wore out by the end of X. So I don't know. But I mean, look at it like, I mean, we're 3 months into 2022, and we've already had some pretty good horror releases just in that 3 months, and some of those have been theatrical releases. So if this trend continues, 2022 is going to be a pretty darn good year for for horror. I mean, I loved The Cursed. I liked Scream a lot, and I really liked X. So,
well, I've seen, you know, people love the 80s and the 70s, and well, I'm thinking that maybe we actually are getting ready to relive the 80s because, you know, what is it? With gas prices the way they are, we have a Cold War with Russia, threats of nuclear war. What is it? The inflation's 7.9. I think at one time in 82 it was like 12 or a little more. So hey, enjoy it, baby. We're in the 80s again. Well, the part they don't tell you was the part that sucked. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, the movies were great and the music was great. We all had a great time, but everything else fucking sucked. So that is being repeated. So hopefully we at least get a few decent movies and a couple of good albums out of it. Because if everything's going to suck, we have to have a little something to hold on to.
I've got my leather chaps and muscle car ready, Mike. Good to go.
Nice. Geez. Yeah. You wanted the 80s. Here it comes.
Full
Be careful what
nostalgia.
you wish for.
Dan, I appreciate you not saying assless chaps because all chaps are assless. So thank you for just saying leather chaps. Appreciate you, man.
You're welcome. We need a day after remake right now. Can you imagine that? The perfect time to drop it. Scare the shit
I
out of
remember when they
everybody,
dropped that shit in the 80s and it scared the hell out of everybody. That was like the scariest movie most people ever saw in the 80s just because, you know, we were a cock hair away from nuclear destruction many times.
Yeah.
And that was almost like this is what you do if something happens, or this is what it's going to be like if it actually happens.
The
And it was
hiding
freaking
under
terrifying,
your desk drill era. Yeah. As though that was going to do anything.
Hey, everybody, we're going to do a nuclear war drill. This is a tornado drill. Just shut up and get down on the floor.
Yeah.
I hope I die in the initial blast because I don't want to just die slowly from radiation poisoning.
There's a video on YouTube. It's animated. And they show you like, okay, if you're within this radius, you will be immediately
obliterated.
Liquid, you know, you'll be dust. You won't feel a thing. You're just gone. You're there 1 minute and you're dust the next. If you're in this area, you're going to be burned horribly. If you're in this area, you're going to suffer terrible radiation poisoning. And if you're in this area, you'll just starve to death because the sun won't be able to penetrate the nuclear clouds.
All the animals will
and
die, all the plants will die, and you'll eventually die of starvation. And the water won't be drinkable.
Yeah. So if you see that it's coming, run to the center.
Yeah.
Just run to the center.
I was always the smart ass kid in school, and they're like, "Get down there and get in your position." And I'm like, "This is a modified tornado drill. This ain't going to save us from shit." Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, "Oh, we're within the blast radius of Chicago. It's the third largest city in the country. Yeah, don't think we're going to hit it. If they hit Chicago, we're dust. And it doesn't matter if your head's up your ass or between your knees, you're dead."
Yeah,
you're gone.
Wait. This tiny desk that's this thick.
Yeah,
we were out in the hallway with our heads between our legs, you know, like a tornado drill. I'm just like, what the hell is this going to do? Absolutely nothing.
You can kiss your ass goodbye at least.
You're in a good position to do it, and you might as well get it over with.
Yeah, at least you'll die with your friends. Your friends.
That's true. I'm holding out hopes for a Hell Comes to Frogtown situation where I can be the Rowdy Piper role and try and repopulate. That's just mutant frogmen. That's all. That's what I'm hoping.
You imagine all the kids in the new era have big full beards, you know?
Yes. I had an old shirt with Rowdy Piper's character, Sam Hell, on it, and it just said, I fuck for freedom on it.
Wow.
It was like my favorite shirt.
Wow.
Watch Hell Comes to Frogtown.
That should be on the American flag.
I was just thinking of like Dan's progeny being like frogs, and then you said beards, and I just thought of frogs with beards. It was like the funniest fucking thing.
But you got to complete the look. If Dan has a shitload of kids, you're gonna have to get a shitload of hats to go with the beards. Where the fuck are you gonna get all those hats?
I know, on the economy.
That's it. No problem.
Crap.
Dan, do you sleep in the hat? Do you shower in the hat? I've been wondering about this all week. As a matter of fact, I've been thinking.
You're like Slash, man. I never see you without the hat.
The hat and nothing else, Jamie. Just the hat.
Get out, really?
You need a python too now, Dan.
I do. I want not Komodo dragon. I want the Brian Bosworth Stone Cold Komodo dragon.
I hear you.
That and the chaps. We're booking an Italian post nuke right now with me. Yeah. So if there's any producers out there, I'm just saying I'm free. It's gonna happen.
Wow.
Until you're the father of dozens of frog children. They better strike while the iron's hot.
I'm covered on the sequels. There you go.
I guess you're gonna need a lot of chaps too.
Oh, can a frog wear chaps?
Stop! No. All of this is in my brain now.
You're welcome.
Frog kids with fedoras and assless chaps. Yes, I said it. I don't care.
But
I don't know if frogs have asses. Wait, yes, they do.
But speaking of sequels and prequels, there's already a prequel to X that's been filmed called Pearl. And if you stick around to the end of Pearl if you stick around to the end of X after the credits, you get a little preview for Pearl.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Can't wait.
So you get at the end of the movie, you get a preview for a prequel.
Exactly.
That's what the after credit scene is, right?
It just sounds kind of weird. Oh, by the way, since you like this story, here's a preview of what happened before.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't I have seen that movie first?
Oh no!
Now I didn't see it. You guys did. Now, did it make you want to see it? Did it excite you about it?
It did make
Awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Can't wait.
And
I'm sure it's on YouTube, Jamie. Look it up on YouTube. I'm sure it's on YouTube.
Yeah, I will find it.
Yeah.
It's supposed
I'm
to be
imagining if they filmed them at the same time that it should be coming out fairly soon then, right?
This year.
I don't know.
I hope so.
Okay. Cool.
Well, I trust Ty West to get the period detail right, because one of the things I loved about X was the 1979 period details. And this prequel is supposed to be set in 1918 at the end of World War I. So look, I trust him to get the period right. I absolutely trust him to get that period right.
I can't wait to point at the screen and go, now that looks like a movie from 1918.
Yes.
Yes. But did he do it better than Boogie Nights? I mean, that's a large stick to compare yourself to.
Also, I did see there was homage to Boogie Nights in there a few times. There was also homage to Boogie Nights in there. I noticed it. So I thought that was pretty cool as well.
If it's in 1918, I want Lorne to play the F.W. Murnau character, only it's like an old, a silent stag film, and he's like the director. It's got to happen.
I like that. Yeah, I can see Lorne cranking the camera now. Let's move away from X. We've spent nearly an hour talking about X, but
we needed to, I think.
We did. Yeah. We approve X. So if you've not seen X, definitely go see X. There's another movie that I cannot wait to see. We got some photos from this film. If I can find why is it not? Hold on. Why is it
quite
not?
Possibly my most anticipated film of the year.
That is Nicolas Cage as Dracula in the upcoming Renfield movie.
Fucking amazing.
How incredible is that?
Does he look like Bela Lugosi trying to look like Martin Landau?
I saw somebody else say that exact same thing on Facebook today. That's pretty funny.
I don't know what the I mean, just look at that coat. Look at I mean, everything about that is just absolutely glorious.
It's glorious, man.
I want that so bad. Bad.
I mean, look at that. Look at the rings.
Yes.
Even his nails are like painted gold or something. Right?
I bow to Cage. I love this man so much. I've been watching The History of Swearing, and he's awesome in it. Cracks me up. You guys need to see that. The History of Swearing with Nicolas Cage. Check it out.
I also can't wait for what's the movie coming out with him in it, the incredible the weight of
the unbearable weight of massive talent. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
theatrical release, and it looks really funny.
Yeah,
I
it
can't
does.
He said in an interview that he's not happy though because it's not him, and he doesn't want anyone to call it him in the movie, even though he's playing himself. He says it's still not me. So I thought that was very interesting.
I'm very excited. I love Nick Cage, and I don't know if you guys saw that interview he did about his VOD movies that got him out of debt.
Yeah.
Very true what he said. I mean, he never phones it in. He's not like a Seagal or, Bruce Willis, just, kind of cashing a check at this point. He did a movie called Arsenal. And if you guys want a laugh, it's not a good movie, but if you want to laugh, look at that trailer and tell me he is not at least having the time of his life. I don't know what the hell he was going for, but watch the trailer for Arsenal. This is a committed actor. And hey, look, the Wicker Man remake, horrible movie. But by God, did Nick Cage at least make it watchable,
entertaining?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and look at some of those. Look at some of those VOD movies that he did. I mean, some of those movies are pretty darn good. I mean, look at Mandy. Look at
Color Out of Space.
Color Out of Space.
Yes.
What was the one with the Chuck E. Cheese?
Willy's
Willy's
Wonderland.
I enjoyed that.
Mom and Dad.
I love Pig from last year. Pig
is
incredible. Love Pig.
I've been up to my eyeballs in Oscar stuff, and I finally finished everything. Pig was snubbed. He was fantastic in Pig. I thought some of the best acting I've seen this year. And he'll go a little over the top with certain things, but Cage can act. I mean, again, Leaving Las Vegas. Weatherman is one that not a lot of people talk about.
Yeah.
Really good movie.
Yeah.
Matchstick Man.
Sam Rockwell.
What's the movie where he's like a gun runner with Ethan Hawke? Lords of War or something like that?
Lords of War.
Yeah.
City of Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
yeah. I mean, I don't think he's ever been accused of being a bad actor, even in those VOD movies. I mean, maybe a little over the top, but I mean,
he's always had a reputation for being over the top. Going back to the movie he did with Cher,
Moonstruck.
That and Vampire's Kiss and some of the others.
Vampire's Kiss.
So he's an actor from my era that you see his name, you know what you're going to get. And it doesn't surprise me he's going to say that's not me, because he may not be aware of who he is at any given time. Yeah. But whatever he is, it's going to be entertaining.
Well, one thing that I think is interesting about the incredible weight of whatever is, like when I had Todd Farmer on my channel, he was telling a story about going out to have dinner with Nick Cage while they were shooting Drive Angry. And he said that, Nick Cage had to leave before they'd even got their meal because he was just bombarded by people.
No.
I mean, what kind of, that's, he's Nick Cage, but I mean, you pay a price for that kind of fame and stuff. He can't go to a restaurant and eat. No. So, I mean, I thought that, I don't know. I don't think they're going to explore that kind of stuff in this movie. This movie looks like a straight up action comedy, just, fun movie. But I think there's also a movie there too about, the Faustian pact you make for fame,
Absolutely. Yeah, no, he couldn't, even to this day. And it's amazing the resurgence that he's having, because normally, when you start to go down that, VOD,
there's no turning back. Yeah, there's no
that's kind of where you are. I mean, and Eric Roberts might have a bit role in something once in a while, but for the most part, you just stay there. And I feel like he's climbing out of it.
I do too.
If anybody can, he can.
Oh, sure, yeah. Because I think he's like 6'6". So I mean, it's it has to be a deep hole.
He'll probably never get the respect of the Academy back because he spent too much time slumming, but it's kind of like when you're an actor in the movies and you go to a TV show and then you come back to the movies and they're kind of like, yeah. You're the TV guy now. No awards for you.
Or he needs a movie like The Wrestler that kind of put Mickey Rourke back on the map, which I mean, he was supposed to be. Exactly. Yeah. He was supposed to be the wrestler. Yeah.
He just didn't think he could pull it off. I mean, it was more his thing. He's like, I don't think I can do it. But Yeah, I love Nicolas Cage. I don't care. Con Air 2, make it happen, please.
Let's get Con Air 2 off the ground.
Put the money back in the box.
Yeah. I love Face Off. I think he's great in Face Off.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah,
One of my favorite action movies.
Yeah,
well, I you guys know I love him in Wild at Heart. You know I do.
Of course.
He's awesome in that.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine?
Like Willem Dafoe kind of steals that movie for me, but he's.
I mean,
know. You have Cage and Dafoe going at it. That's beautiful. That makes the movie right.
Great.
They worked together again in a movie called Dog Eat Dog. Actually, like 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I was gonna imagine those two on the set and like, you know, who can out weird the other, and like, you know, David Lynch sitting back and going, put a camera on him, put a camera on him.
I saw a documentary the other day that was talking about how Nick Cage and Johnny Depp were best friends, and he's the one who got Johnny Depp the audition for Nightmare on Elm Street. So I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't know that before, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Depp is one that kind of I get that he doesn't care anymore vibes. I hate to say it, but he's yeah.
We've got Christian in the chat. How's it going tonight, Christian?
Hi, Christian.
Oh, by the way, we had a super chat from Mike, the real Fifth Beatle, and this is actually going to set up this week's Sam Slam. Mike sends us a £2 super chat. Are you looking forward to Men?
All right.
Sam, you got it.
Here's the thing.
Hold on. Hold on.
Oh God, I have to be full screen.
She needs full screen here. Hold on.
Damn it.
Oh yeah, there we go. Main event.
Okay. Here's the thing with Men. So the movie, you know, the way I came to this movie is I saw a teaser, didn't reveal anything, and then the trailer dropped probably yesterday or the day before. And you get to see a little bit more. So it appears, from what I can tell, that it's about a woman who's trying to deal with the suicide of her husband. And there is a lot of symbolism used throughout the trailer, such as there's fruit. There's also some Green Man imagery. The Green Man being a god of vegetation and also rebirth and renewal. So that's what it's leading me to. But we're also seeing our main character. She's encountering all these dudes who are, well, I guess they're trying to mansplain her husband's death to her. I'm not really sure because, you know, trailer could be anything. I am still interested, and I was looking forward to it until I saw the marketing campaign on Twitter, which the marketing campaign is yes, all men with little red flag emojis. And is this for real? Because I mean, I'm trying to separate my desire to actually consume the art from, say, like the political messages or the marketing itself. But the marketing is really making me not want to see this movie in a theater and just kind of like, nah, I'm a pass for right now. But this is the best we could do, A24. What kind of lazy fucking marketing is this? I mean, honestly, like, I feel like I'm just being turned off by how they're promoting it. And that maybe this isn't an indictment of, like, all men. Which I'm just going to say, like, trans men are men, and this is very transphobic. So, no, not all men. Get fucked. Get out of here with the transphobia. Anyway. So, no, I mean, like, A24 needs to fucking do better. And, you know, this has been your Sam Slams. I'm the humorless feminist tonight. Sorry.
I don't think it's humorless at all.
I need like a slab of beef to put over my eye. I feel like I've been punched. What happened?
Different ways. Like, yeah.
I saw the trailer before X, and I was like, what is this? Is this an indictment of men? But it's like an Alex Garland movie, and I know he's a talented filmmaker, and you know, I saw some of that imagery that you mentioned, and I was like, what is this?
I'm getting a little fucking tired of of like, hey, let's other the others. No, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm tired of it.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, I've got men pulled up here. A young woman goes on a solo vacation to the English countryside following the death of her ex-husband. That's the only plot we've got. But the poster is of a grinning. Hold on, let me share this. This is a weird. Again, the marketing is a little strange. But let's see. Let me pull this up here. Yeah, like what is that?
Yeah, and I mean, you see guys in the trailer kind of like talking down to her and blaming her for her husband's suicide. But I think that she's imagining this. I think that this is just, kind of a psychological journey to help her figure out like how for her to deal with the death of her ex-husband.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm feeling in my gut. But if they're just marketing this as like, oh no, this is all reality, because yes, all men are like horrible. Like, I don't want to. No.
See this? Yeah, this
That's
is
ridiculous.
This is a much better poster, and I like the tagline: "What haunts you will find you."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying, and I mean. Like, you'll only see a little bit of imagery of the Green Man here and there in the trailer, and I think there might also be the counterpart of the Green Man, too. So, I mean, kind of like, it just feels to me like it's about her trying to, like, understand and reconcile this death. And having to bring, like, two parts together to make a whole. Just kind of fucking figure it out. But I don't like the way it's being portrayed, and I'm just like, I don't want to let that turn me off of a good story. So it's like, I'm still going to complain about it.
Yeah.
I have more. If this was coming from Blumhouse, I don't even know if I'd bother, but I have some faith. A24, maybe, I don't know. I'll see. There's a lot of goodwill for me with them. So I'll check it out just based on A24. Blumhouse would scare me, though.
Oh, right. No.
The feeling I got from the trailer was, it was like a woman who is dealing with all of her feelings about why her husband may have killed himself. I saw, I didn't pay that close attention to it because I was scrolling through, but I did see that, she goes to this, farmhouse and that she seems haunted by something, and it does. And then she sees the part where she sees her husband falling. I'm like, well, to me, it seems like she's feeling, at least to me, it seems like she's feeling maybe she has a responsibility for it. And maybe all of these, I don't know, it kind of gives me an It Follows feeling. Do you know what I mean? Like all these men in the trailer seemed kind of It Follows-ish. So maybe it is in her head. And I think it's you're probably right. You're probably on the money about that, Sam, because I think that she probably is dealing with guilt with that, and that's probably what it's about. I'm going to give it a chance.
I've never heard of it, but they say suicide isn't a way to end the pain. You just pass the pain to another person.
Yeah.
So it would be interesting to see if this was like a story based on what happens like that. Like when somebody close to you kills themselves, how that could affect the person closest to them. And maybe they would blame themselves and they would have a psychological breakdown of their own because that pain had been transferred to them. And it's so powerful that it just breaks them down. And you could have hallucinations and different kinds of things when your brain's going goofy. That would be interesting. And I would hope it would be something in that vein.
One of my biggest fears is losing my husband. Right. So I that was what it made me feel like. I started to, when I saw that, I got scared because I remembered what it was like when the doctor was explaining to me that my husband had had a heart attack and almost died. And that, I was lucky that he's still here, because it threw me for a loop because he was only 38 years old. That should not have happened. It really freaked me out. And I had to face it. I had to face it. Oh my God, there is a possibility that, I could have been left alone. And that was terrifying for me. And so I sort of got that from the trailer. Like like it's her fear of being alone and maybe seeing all these men blaming her. I don't know what that has to do with, because they're very vague, but it really does look, it's interesting to me. I'm very interested to see what it's about.
Her mind's reflection of how she feels about herself, that maybe there was something she could have done to prevent it but didn't, or and you know, her feelings toward herself are being manifested in different characters in her brain or something. That would be interesting. But if it's like Sam said, if it's just one of those other type of films, then I wouldn't be interested.
The Night House does a really good job of exploring those themes, Mike.
Yeah, and I mean, I've spoken about it before, but I lost a really close friend to suicide back in 2020 at the end of it. And I mean, you constantly ask yourself what you could have done.
Yeah.
And, you know, for me, like, I didn't have hallucinations, but it's like my way of dealing with it was to like be as full of rage as possible to anybody like messing with somebody I know that was having rough days. And it's like, I mean, these people pretty much deserved my rage, but it's also really not healthy. They're, you know, and I didn't obviously deal with my friend's death easily, but you know, you have to keep moving and take each day as it goes, and eventually the pain starts to go away. It's still there though, because it's like he was like his birthday was the day after mine, so we celebrated together like years, and the year that he died we didn't, and I regret that every day. But you know, it's in a weird macabre way, it's kind of funny because he died the day after Chris's birthday, and he was born the day after my birthday. So we both have to fucking spend the rest of our birthdays at the cemetery from now. Which, don't get me wrong, I love Scott, and you know, that'll never go away. But it's like, God damn it, Scott, I would have, like, you didn't have to go this far, buddy. Nah, I'm just like, you know, again, like we were friends for over 20 years. So yeah, it's still hard, you know, not trying to like, not throwing a pity party, just kind of like want to put it out there.
Right.
Now that I've brought the room down.
Now that you brought the room down.
70s Bush.
Assless chaps.
Oh,
nice. Hot pants.
I was going to say, let's let my buddy Garrett, aka Born to Be Rad, bring us up a little bit with this week's Rad Report.
Rad Report. What's up, everybody? Garrett back here on interrupting your regularly scheduled programs, bringing the new edition of the Rad Report, where I go through all the physical media news and new releases for the next coming weeks. Right, so a couple of the new releases this week that you can keep your eye out for is Nightmare Alley. I know Best Buy had like an exclusive 4K steelbook, if anybody was fans of that. All right, a big Goodfellas 50th anniversary box set 4K came out with all the films. And Dexter New Blood just got released this week as well. I haven't checked that one out, so let me know how it is. Brian Loves You gets a Blu-ray release from MVD. And Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is released on 4K from Arrow Video. All right, Vinegar Syndrome's dropping their March titles next week. They have Reformed Schoolgirls, they have Schizoid and X-Ray on 4K double pack. Hard Rock Zombies and a Slaughterhouse Rock double pack make their way this month. Slash Dance and Talons of the Eagle from Vinegar Syndrome. And Severin is releasing Out of the Blue. I've never seen this movie. It actually kind of looks like it's something that would be up my alley. So if any of you guys know anything about this movie, let me know before I pick it up. All right, so that's all the main things I wanted to talk about that are coming out this week and next week. And now on to the news. So a couple big announcements is Dead Alive is hitting 4K. We don't know exactly which studio is putting out, but it's good to see that getting another re-release because that Blu-ray has been out of print for so long. Transmutations and Clyde Barker's Underworld just got announced from Kino Lorber. MVD is releasing Miami Blues. Thief of Hearts is finally getting a Blu-ray upgrade. And in my opinion, the big one that was announced was from Second Sight Films. They're going to be releasing a huge 4K box set for Drive, as well as Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So man, if you've seen those editions, those things look really good. The thing with Second Sight, though, they are pretty pricey with their releases, especially when it comes in those big boxes with all the bonus goodies. So be prepared for that. And that's all the things I wanted to really talk about this week. If there's anything that I missed, please let me know. Let me know about any of these titles if you guys are interested in picking them up, what you guys think of some of these. And like always, this is Garrett at Born to Be Rad, and I'll get back to the rest of Region Free.
Thank you, Garrett, for another installment of the Rad Report. Yeah, some interesting titles coming out finally. Dead Alive. Yeah, I saw Dawn of the Discs announced this the other day, or they leaked it or whatever, but they didn't say who was releasing it, did they? I don't think they said who was releasing it, just that it's happening. That and not Bad Taste, but I think it's Meet the Feebles.
Oh yeah.
So
that's a classic. That probably the first Peter Jackson movie I ever saw. I love that movie. That is so funny.
I believe all of his early stuff was getting new restorations. He said something about it years ago, and I'm like, oh, come on already. That and Tombs of the Blind Dead is another one I've been waiting for since probably 5 or 6 years now. So I want those to finally happen.
Yeah. It's about time. And that Drive release from Second Sight Films looks beautiful. Looks gorgeous. I didn't see their announcement for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre though. But they've got a Witch release that's coming out next month that looks really good too. So yeah, Second Sight's they're killing it. Their releases are really good, but they are pricey. And yeah, what's going on with Vinegar Syndrome tonight? There's something going on with Vinegar Syndrome.
Halfway to the halfway sale. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're going to be announcing some new stuff tonight too, right?
Yeah, I believe a couple things, and then you can pre-order for the halfway sale. Yeah, we'll be eagerly waiting to see what they do for sure, because I really liked their last announcements personally. So, but the partner label releases have been even cooler, I think, recently. So I don't know if they're going to announce anything new on that front, but I actually just recently got in, and I've never actually watched these. Kind of a kinky SOV horror double feature, Red Spirit Lake and We Await. It's always nice when I find something that I haven't actually seen. This like from the 90s. If you look at the trailer on their on the Vinegar Syndrome website, pretty crazy stuff. So I'm actually eager to cover those at some point. So yeah.
But yeah, see the Hard Rock Zombies, Reformed Schoolgirls. It's been a long time since I've seen Reformed Schoolgirls.
It's fun.
Yeah. And there's Schizoid X-Ray double feature, which I've still got the old Scream Factory double Blu-ray for that one, which I think I'm good with, just the standard Blu-ray for those two.
No Klaus Kinski and 4K for you.
That's too much Klaus Kinski for me. That's just too much Klaus, too much Kinski.
I will actually also say real quick that one that I think Garrett might have missed, because not a lot of people are talking about these releases, and I know they're limited editions for you classic Mexican horror fans. They just put Indicator just put out Phantom of the Monastery. One you guys may not have heard of, but it's a early 30s Mexican horror flick. And if the recent Curse of La Llorona left you wanting, the 1933 La Llorona also. They're limited. I don't know how limited they are at this point, but I was happy to see those come out. Hoping Two Monks. That's another really great early Mexican horror flick that I'd like to see get a Blu-ray from them.
Very cool. Very cool. Anything else on your all's minds? Anything else you guys want to discuss?
I checked out Studio 666 finally. And, I was enjoying it. And then it was kind of like, well, you've overstayed your welcome a little. There's like 4 endings to that movie. I'm like, okay, I get it. That's the gag. But I'm just like, shave like 15 minutes off this movie. Hit it like 90 minutes, we're good. But, if you go in just expecting a comedy, then you'll have fun with it. And if you're stoned, you'll probably also have fun with it. So.
Yeah. That's how I would recommend people to see it, is stoned.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
My favorite part was Pat Smear screaming. I just loved his screaming.
He was so good in that movie. I loved him.
He was my favorite part of that movie.
Yeah, I could see that.
I liked Whitney Cummings in that too. She's doesn't have a lot of screen time, but the whole like just slowly lowering over the fence gag and everything, it was cute. It could have 90 minutes would have been better than.
Yeah, it really overstayed its welcome with me. Like I was laughing and having a good time with it. Then by the end of it, I was just like, God, get me out of here.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, you know.
If you were a fan of the band, I think it'll elevate it even more. I'm kind of indifferent, so but I like the movie.
I like the Foo Fighters. Is anybody out there like the Foo Fighters? Like, is your favorite band? Because to me, they seem like they're the kind of band who they've been around for a long time. They put out some really good stuff, and everybody likes them. But are they anybody's favorite band?
I wouldn't say my favorite, but they're up there, at least in the top 15 for me. I really do like them. I bought all their albums ever since the 90s. So yeah, I do like them a lot. But they're not, they're not number one or anything.
Well, let's ask the professor. Mike, where does the Foo Fighters rank for you?
I'm not going to bash the Foo Fighters. They're okay for what they are.
You can't bash the Foo Fighters.
They've achieved a lot of success. They're industry darlings. Everybody, even like you said, even though you don't hear anybody screaming their name, they seem to have a very large fan base. They're definitely not what's that Canadian band everybody makes fun of.
Nickelback?
There you go. They're not quite Nickelback, but they're not quite Nirvana.
Okay.
But Dave Grohl is a very talented guy. I mean, the dude can play the hell out of drums, play guitar, sing. Yeah, hats off to us. He's a talented guy, and he seems like a really good dude. I mean, every time I've ever seen him interacting with people, there was something. He just seems like a Keanu Reeves of rock and roll type of thing. It's really laid back and really cool. So I respect that.
Very respectful.
Their music isn't exactly something I would listen to on a daily basis, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
I just rewatched Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny last week, and I really, really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed it a lot, and that's got Dave Grohl in it. He plays the devil, and it's pretty good.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I have a stupid question related to Studio 666. If somebody can help me out,
sure.
Because I don't know shit about music, let alone rock music. Like my musical tastes are terrifyingly bad. Really,
you gotta elaborate. What are your favorite?
I was gonna say, are we talking about you're in the car rocking out to Creed, or what are we talking about?
No, I mean it's not that level of bad, but for the most part, I'll listen to a lot of pop and top 40 stuff, and just I'm very much a basic bitch. Y'all can't really tell unless I bust out the LaCroix on the show every now and then. But yes, I'm a basic ass bitch. And I love my pop music. But, like in high school, you're kind of, when you're in high school, you tend to go through a rebellious phase. You're listening to rock and roll, metal, all that, right? Normal. I listen to fucking like anime soundtracks because that's what it was for me. So I don't have any, I missed out on all of this. So the Pearl Jam High Five running gag in Studio 666 made me laugh, and I don't know why. Can somebody please explain the joke? Because
that was the album cover for their first record 10. It's them all doing the group high five.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I
can put that to bed now.
So there you go.
And that's a band that I like a lot less than the Foo Fighters.
There was I heard Pat Smear one time told a story about how once he joined Nirvana, like him and Kurt were doing something, and Dave Grohl just walked overboard, picked up a guitar and started playing, and Pat and Kurt looked at each other and went, "Holy shit, he's better than both of us." He's our drummer. So it's like, yeah,
dude's amazing.
He's pretty talented. Yeah.
And Pat Smear's legit. I mean, he came from.
What was that punk band he was in?
I can't remember the name of it, but it was legitimate. He was a legit punker. And then when he joined Nirvana, that really gave him some street cred. Because I think Kurt kind of did that because Kurt didn't really want to be a platinum selling rock star because he hated all that shit. And then when he got really popular, it was part of the reason why he sank into a deep depression and put out in utero to try to not be popular anymore, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
So he brought Pat Smear on to kind of give some legitimacy to Nirvana, and then it was cool that Dave took him with the Foo Fighters. Just didn't leave him hanging like, oh, sorry, I guess you don't have a band anymore later. No, he was like, hey, come on over. That was cool.
The Germs.
Yeah, the Germs. There you go.
The Germs. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty cool.
That's funny because my mom was really into like Kiss and heavy metal music. So my rebellion was to like New Kids on the Block and Debbie Gibson. So, and I forced her to go to a Debbie Gibson concert. That was awesome.
My first concert when I was a kid was New Kids on the Block.
I wish that was my first concert. I did not get to see them until 2011. It was a dream come true for me. I was so excited. My cousin was standing next to me going, Jamie, show him your boobs so Donnie will look at us. And I'm like, honey, he's not going to see us way up here because we had the Verizon box. We had the Verizon box, we were in one of those ritzy boxes. And so he wasn't going to see my boobs up there. But if I'd been on the floor, I'd have been, hell yeah, Donnie! I love him.
Oh, since we're talking about, poor musical choices, I should also point out that Mr. Sam has been to many Hanson concerts. Many.
What?
His ex-wife dragged him in his defense. She was a massive Hanson fan. She has a Hanson tattoo.
He's 6'11". You don't drag him anywhere. Okay. He may have acted like he wasn't down with Hanson, but he was bopping, I'm sure. With all the rest of them.
Secretly, he was bopping his ass up, and we all know.
Oh, yeah.
It's all right. There's no such thing as a guilty pleasure. If you like it, you like it. It don't matter.
Yeah.
I feel like I would look really creepy at a Hanson concert at this point.
You probably would.
Yeah. I don't think I could do it.
Assless chaps, definitely.
Well,
if you're wearing the chaps,
yeah. They'd be like, that guy is either a creep or he's a narc trying way too hard.
There you go.
I don't think you'd find any narcs at a Hanson show anyway.
I was gonna say I wouldn't think there'd be too much misbehaving at a Hanson. You don't hear about like the shootout at the Hanson concert. I mean,
the Hanson guys got to be at least 35 by now.
Yeah. You don't hear about one of the Hanson, like the little drummer kid. He was found with a needle in his arm and on the side of the road somewhere.
Would it be funny if they all look like me now?
When you're 14 years old and you're making your video and you're singing your bop, it's all adorable, right? But when you're 50 years old in a dive bar still singing the same song, man, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
They've probably retired that song because they probably feel a little creepy playing it now, So, especially their voices are now like, like thinking the big man.
Balls have done dropped, hang it up.
Yeah. So,
anybody else excited for WrestleMania?
Yes,
I got a couple.
Actually, I'm not excited for it.
I was gonna say, I'm not either, but
I mean, it's WrestleMania seasons. It's
WrestleMania.
Like, I'm going to consume more wrestling. The problem is like this WrestleMania is like the theme is, well, we don't have anything for WrestleMania.
So we got Johnny Knoxville, you fight Sami Zayn. There you go.
I mean, have they had anything for WrestleMania for like 20 years? I mean, is that still a thing? People still watch that? Okay, cool.
People still watch.
Awesome.
I mean, a lot of celebrities this year. Logan Paul, Johnny Knoxville. It's like an all celebrity card.
Yeah, but Razor Ramon passes away, right? And then he's replaced by Knoxville. I mean, is that a step up? I mean, Come on.
I think they're just desperate to like maybe get a few extra people watching. So we'll bring in Logan Paul and Johnny Knoxville and
wrestling died with the Macho Man.
God, that was sad.
Speaking of the Macho Man, he's here with us tonight.
And
Is that
and
the
speaking
snap
of
into a
Knoxville,
Slim Jim guy?
Yeah.
It is.
Oh, cool.
Speaking of Knoxville, I finally saw Jackass Forever this week. I had a blast watching that. The only thing I'm going to say about Jackass Forever, the highlight for that in that movie for me was when Johnny Knoxville takes a queen bee in a tiny little box and attaches it to Steve-O's penis, and then within seconds, bees are completely covered Steve-O's genitalia. It was epic. It was hilarious. I will never forget it. And let me tell you, the critics adored Jackass Forever. They gave it like an 86 approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Considering all that we've been through for the past 2 years, we needed Jackass Forever. We needed a good laugh. And that movie, it's a barrel of laughs if you haven't seen it.
You had it right, Stone. It seems like 10 years. Only it's been 2, but it seems like 10.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years since the last Jackass movie, pretty much. Well, I mean, there was Bad Grandpa, which I really liked, but
that was funny.
That
was fun.
Pogo stick to the balls made me cringe.
It hurts just thinking about it.
So what was it that almost killed Knoxville?
Oh, a bull.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah.
It actually shows him being wheeled out of the hospital in the movie.
If the bull don't kill you, the swarm of bees on your junk will.
Not the bees.
I think I'd rather face the bull. Just me.
Yeah.
Deleted scene from Wicker Man.
Like, you do that for $1 million, put a queen bee on your dick and just have
No,
not me. No.
I'll take the bees. I'm not dealing with the bull. I'll just try to remain as calm as possible.
You don't have a penis, though.
Whatever. You put it on my bush. I don't. I'm just saying, I'd rather take my chances with the bees than the bull. I can't outrun a bull. I got smoker's lungs.
I can't either, but you're not putting bees on my dick. That's just not going to happen. I mean, it's called Jackass, not Dumbass. It's like,
I know that I'm not allergic to bees, and if they sting me enough and I die, that's my own fault. But I feel my chances of survival are higher with the bees than the bull.
The bull will knock you out, though. There's more suffering with the bees. I mean,
even as a guy, the thought of it's like a Botox injection, but it would make it swell and look even more impressive, right? But it's not worth it. I'm not going through that just like, look, I'm all swole,
Yeah, but it's going to look like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, though. I mean,
yeah, it's
bigger,
not, yeah.
You end up in an emergency room and nurses screaming and running away. It's like, hey, help! What is that? He's deformed.
Your dick starts talking about insect politics. And
it's like, how'd this happen? Well, there was these bees. Yeah, sure. No, really, what happened?
I was making love to a bee's nest.
I think the Jackass guys are crazy and hate their penises. Because why are they all so mean to their penises? They're so mean to them.
There was a really
penis.
high amount of male genitalia. There was a really high amount of male genitalia in this new movie. And Mike, it's funny you drop Botox because one of the segments, they have a female jackass now, and they called it Scorpion Botox, where they put a scorpion on her lip.
I'm sorry. That's not as bad as the bees on your dick, though. I'll scorpion all day.
Have you guys seen the
credits?
Depends on what lip you're putting that scorpion to. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
Well, yeah, there you go. That makes a big difference. That would be a lot more closer to the bee.
I would not like that. That would be worse.
The bees.
That'd be worse.
So what they call it? Because normally they're like, we call this stunt blah blah blah. Would they call it like buzz balls or something?
That's an actual product though. Aren't the little balls full of booze? I'm pretty sure they are.
They should have called it epipenis. Because I mean, you're gonna You're gonna need an EpiPen.
That would have been
shot.
too expensive.
Yeah. How did we get here? How did we get to this point? I don't remember how we got to
I think
this
it's
point.
Stone's fault.
Once Jackass comes up, it always leads to insanity.
Yeah.
That's how we
every
got here.
single time.
Yeah. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Anything else you guys want to discuss tonight before we call it a night?
I just want to tell everybody that
Okay, go ahead, Jamie.
I just want to tell everybody
Go ahead,
that
Jamie.
I made my featured debut in Queen of Hearts. I am now and forever a pixie in the Black Lodge. I am now a piece of Twin Peaks. This is thrilling for me. Thrilling. So if you guys want to hear my little part, my little acting job, go and watch Act 4 of Twin Peaks or Queen of Hearts. I can't speak now. Queen of Hearts, a Twin Peaks fan film on the Annie Blackburn channel. Check it out. It's awesome.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yes, I didn't tell any of you guys that I was going to be in it because I was trying to keep it a secret from everybody until it came out. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Stone, you've got a Blu-ray review?
Yeah, I won't be too long with it, but I just want to do an introduction real quick that Monday, April 4th is my birthday. I was born in 1979, so this is going to be my 43rd birthday. I wanted to share this real quick. This has been my birthday cake since I was 1 year old. It's a Linda Carter Wonder Woman birthday cake. This, like I said, I've had this for my birthday every single year since 1980. And I mean, believe me, I mean, it takes like a day to prepare. It needs a lot of buttercream, but I adore this cake, and I've had it every birthday since 1980. Excuse me. But I was born April 4th, 1979. On March 16th of that year, there was a movie that came out. Now, when it comes to movies in 1979, yes, we're staying in 79 from X, but when it comes to movies from 1979, when we think of the best ones that year, usually the same ones come up. Apocalypse Now, All That Jazz, Alien, Kramer versus Kramer. Okay, I love all those movies. They're great. But this is my vote for not only the best movie of 1979, but also the scariest movie I've ever seen in my life. The scariest movie I've ever seen in my life. And it's not exactly a horror film, but the producer is absolutely correct in that it's a monster movie. And it's called The China Syndrome. Directed by James Bridges, starring Michael Douglas, who also produced the movie and, yes, called it a monster movie very accurately, Jane Fonda, and Jack Lemmon. And basically, it's about a film crew, a news crew, Michael Douglas and a sound man and Fonda, who wants to be a reporter, but she's only paid to smile instead of think. Like, they send her out on stupid things like covering a sick fish at somebody's house that a vet is looking at, rather than do real hardcore news. Well, she goes out to a nuclear power plant, and when they're doing the tour, they happen to catch on film a near meltdown. All the lights in the control room just start blazing and everything. Jack Lemmon is in there trying to control everything. They film the entire thing and realize after they take it back to the news station, because they plan to show it out to, hey, this power plant just nearly had a meltdown. Well, the power plant calls the news station and say, no, don't release that footage. And so they attempt to cover up this near accident. This came out on March 16th, 1979. It was attacked from all sides. It was attacked by the nuclear industry for being a character assassination. It was attacked by pundits who, of course, cited Michael Douglas and Jane Fonda's quote-unquote liberal politics. It was just attacked viciously from all sides. And then 12 days later, approximately 12 days after the film's release, on March 28th, 1979, in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, 3 Mile Island happened. And the scenario that happened, they almost had a meltdown involving a stuck needle, absolutely pretty much on the nose to what happened in the movie. So this is pretty much considered the most prophetic movie of all time. It predicted Chernobyl, it predicted Fukushima, and it also, it's not one-sided. It's not one-sided at all. It shows both sides of the nuclear argument. But it's not just a movie about nuclear power. It's also about corporate power. It's also about the power of the media, because, you know, who runs this nuclear power plant, they basically want to keep it hush hush because they're opening 2 more. It's all about profits over people. And I want to share with you this very brief review, very brief. It's on IMDb. Art Imitates Life. As someone who lives a sneeze away from TMI, 3 Mile Island, I can tell you how this movie was received in my area. People were terrified. The administrators at TMI were hardly forthcoming about the situation. Some of the advice we got now seems laughable. I was in high school at the time, and for our protection, the teachers closed all the windows. Wow. My one social studies teacher went to see the movie, and when they got to the part about the meltdown destroying an area the size of Pennsylvania, he said that people started screaming and running out of the theater. So this movie is pretty surreal to me. It seems it was only dumb luck that kept the plant from a meltdown. Every now and then I drive past it, and it still seems as sinister as it did then. Watching the China Syndrome seemed like watching the local news. I mean, this movie is so full of verisimilitude. It's insane. Michael Douglas had just won the Oscar for producing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. No studio wanted to do this. I mean, Columbia was like, I don't know about a movie about nuclear power. We don't know about this. If it wasn't for the fact that Michael Douglas won that Oscar, this movie would never have been made. Jack Lemmon waited patiently for 3 years. To do this movie. He has a crisis of conscience in the movie, which is unbelievable. His performance is great, but it's also the film debut of Wilford Brimley from The Thing, and it's his very first film. And let me tell you, Wilford Brimley does so much with so little. So much with so little. I mean, he gives such a powerful performance as Jack Lemmon's best friend and the one with the most experience at the nuclear power plant, that, you know, Jack Lemmon is determined to get this out because he knows it's being covered up. But of course, the plant's like, no, what? I mean, everything's fine. We're going to go back online. Everything is just hunky dory, you know, whatever. And after that just happened, you know, everything. So this is the most prophetic movie ever made. It's definitely the scariest movie I've ever seen. And it needs to be seen. It absolutely needs to be seen. It's a brilliant, brilliant thriller. And it really, I mean, like I said, Mike brought up The Day After only a few minutes ago. And also Silkwood, which came out the same year, about Karen Silkwood, who, you know, was basically cooked by a nuclear power plant because she threatened to be a whistleblower. So, look, whatever you feel about nuclear power, this is a movie to see. And the actual tagline for the movie in the trailer, it's, today, only a handful of people know what it means, and they're scared. Soon, you will know. This 2020 Blu-ray is from Indicator Powerhouse. Dan showed a couple of Indicator Powerhouse Blu-rays before for the Mexican horror films. It includes a high-definition remaster, original mono audio, alternative 5.1 surround soundtrack, the John Player lecture with Jack Lemmon, which runs 80 minutes from 1973, archival auto recording of an interview conducted by Philip Oakes at the London's National Film Theatre, Assessing the Fallout runs 18 minutes, where Professor Tony Shaw, author of The Rotten to the Core, Exposing America's Energy Media Complex in the China Syndrome, discusses the film and the issues it raises. Also, a featurette called A Fusion of Talent, which was on the Region 1 Blu-ray. Documentary about the making of the film featured interviews with cast and crew, including Jane Fonda, actor-producer Michael Douglas, executive producer Bruce Gilbert, and actor Jack Larson, the partner of director James Bridges, and also Creating a Controversy, a 30-minute look at the film's impact and the real-life events which followed its release. And finally, an image gallery, publicity and promotional material, and new and improved English subtitle for the deaf and hard of hearing. And one thing I want to close this review on, because like I said, this is the scariest movie I've ever seen. No music. There is no music score in this film, which I think makes it all the more terrifying. Anybody that says that music is an absolute requirement for film, this proves everyone to the contrary, because aside from one song over the opening credits, which we hear on a radio, no music whatsoever. The end credits are completely blank. I mean, not blank, but they're completely silent. No music credits at all. So, I mean, it's powerful, it's terrifying, brilliantly acted, brilliantly directed, brilliantly written, and it's not a horror film. I know it's not a horror film, but I do in my heart think it's the most terrifying movie I've ever seen. My heart was pounding, about to explode at any minute throughout the entire movie. And granted, I watched it right after what happened at Fukushima over 10 years ago. I admit that. So, but I mean, this is a movie that is timeless, and despite some of the 70s era fashions, but I mean, believe me, if you have not seen The China Syndrome, please go out and see it sometime. And just on a final note, I gave a copy of this Blu-ray to Christian Hanna Horror. He said he loved it. He said he loved it. And finally, last but not least, I know you're a huge Teen Wolf fan. James Hampton, who plays the father in Teen Wolf, he's in this movie as the media spokesperson who is tasked with lying to the media on behalf of the nuclear power plant. Great cast. Everything about this movie, it's a masterpiece. It needs to be seen by everybody.
Very cool. Thank you for that, Stone.
Yes.
And speaking of James Hampton, my very first convention, I walk into the venue. I'm like, Doug Bradley, Danielle Harris, get out of my way. James Hampton. I'm like, come here, man. Just bring it in here, So Teen Wolf's dad was the very first guest I met at my very first convention.
Nice.
Yeah. Unfortunately, no longer with us, though. So.
Yeah. And Wilford Brimley. Yeah.
3 Mile Island, the films I used to go see in the theater when I was a child. I actually saw that in the theater. The 80s were great. I mean, was it just a couple weeks ago we had people shooting at a power plant over in the Ukraine? Apparently they didn't see that movie. Bad idea, guys. You should probably stop. I'm just saying. I don't know who the dumbass is that thought that was a good idea, but whoever was shooting at it, I hope they got their ass beat and the gun stuck up their ass. I really do, because that's one of the dumbest. I heard that. I was like, seriously, they're shelling the nuclear power plant? Wow. Okay. Society has reached a whole new level of stupid.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
My favorite meme since this mess started was it had like Ukraine, and it's like the Ewoks, and then it had Russia, the Empire. It's my favorite
kind of how it's playing out.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
They blew up one of their ships yesterday, I believe. So it's like, oh god damn, they're
destroyer or some kind of big ass military ship. It wasn't like a little boat, like a little fishing boat. It was like a big deal.
Like a warship. Yeah.
Wow. Jesus,
it's a pretty brutal ship. But yeah, 3 Mile Island, and then we had it was great. The 80s were great, guys. Welcome to them. I'm so glad I could give you a tour of what the 80s were really like. 3 Mile Island, Russians shooting at shit. Good. Where's the sequel? Come on, the next, whatever, the day after, whatever.
Yeah.
The day before, the day after. However you want to do it, I don't care, but we need it because it's that time again.
we need another Reagan in office. I think. What's Reagan's son doing these days?
Well,
Let's get him in the office.
2024, we may see another rise of a Reagan. We don't know.
We need another Reagan.
The Rock. Come on, Rock.
The Rock.
Nah, he'd run it. He wouldn't be a Reagan though. I mean,
no. I just want to hear "It doesn't matter what your name is" during a.
He would be. I mean, as much as our politics are fucking clown shoes, modern times.
Just
why not? Throw the Rock in there. At least it'll be entertaining as hell.
Oh, I want all the freak shows, just one big.
He could get Putin on a call. He goes, "So what do you think about that?" It doesn't matter what you think. I'm like, yeah, there we go.
I want the guy with the boot on his head. We need to get him in some high.
Supreme.
There, yeah. We need him in.
Yeah,
office.
he's on that platform of everybody getting a pony. I think he's still on that.
I say hell yeah.
I'm fine with that because you know what? If I can't write it, I can eat it.
Damn right. There you go. I'm going to close this out tonight on an image that I think we all need to see. One moment. It's a photo of Patrick Bateman as a young man playing Atari with an Empire of the Sun poster on the wall.
Wow,
that's awesome. I love that.
Guess I should have taken that picture and put like a Chainsaw Massacre poster there instead.
Look at those acid wash jeans. Holy
moly.
God.
Well, that takes you back.
Yes, it does.
Is he wearing LA gears? It's hard to see.
I think he is. Well, they're like, yeah.
Those are old Jordans. Those are Jordans.
Oh, okay. Well, he's
oh God.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Future American Psycho.
Yep, there you go. That's what
movie
drove
ruined me. And every movie I see him in after that, that's just him. That's him.
Yeah, especially when he's
probably the role that's closest to his true personality. I can believe that.
Yeah. Every time I see him, all I do is hear him in my head going, "Oh, good for you!"
Oh my God. I dated somebody briefly who used that as the text message alert on his phone. You know, it's funny the first 5 times.
I know.
And then after that, it just kind of burned out on it.
Did that facilitate the breakup?
No, like he forgot my birthday twice.
Oh.
Dating times.
He forgot your birthday twice?
What? Yeah, like the first time he forgot it. That's not why we broke up, well, we were never really together. It was just dating. It wasn't exclusive or anything. So.
Okay.
But he forgot my birthday, and I'm like, just tell me happy birthday. I don't want a gift. But then it's like, then years later, after that, we tried it again. He forgot it again. But here's the part: in the interval, he dated somebody with the exact same birthday I had.
Oh, weird.
Ain't that a bitch?
Jeez.
And he still forgot?
Yeah, I'm like. He smoked a lot of weed, but
well, that could. You've got such a colorful dating history. We need to do a show just about your dating history. I think so.
Unfortunately, that would make a show by itself.
Thank you, Nico, for the $10 super chat. Still working, but I have something to look forward to. Region free. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that, Nico. All right, let's call it a night here. Let's do some shout outs. Shout out to Mike, the real fifth Beatle. Thank you for the £2 super chat. And of course, Nico, thank you again for the $10 super chat. Very kind of you, sir. Appreciate that. Let's see who's still with us here tonight. We have got Roland666. There's Lauren in the chat, claiming you have 3 birthdays, Sam.
To go with my 3 vaginas.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
God.
That's where birthdays come from.
True.
That is true.
Is this a Wiccan thing?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Okay.
They don't all wax and wane at the same time.
If that's going to be part of the show, I don't think YouTube's going to be the proper the proper place to go delve into that detail.
It's all theoretical, just like physics.
I feel like Sam just booked the 2022 remake of Man with Two Heads.
Wow. I like that. Let's see. We've got Alexander Lumberjack in the chat. Zombie7979, Punisher Batman fan. Brian Trash, David Vines, Holiday Styles, 402-1971, Dying Breed, Mike Barrett, Bog Zombie. Some new names in the chat tonight. There's Robert Long. There's Cable Channel 11, Jess. Retro Cac, Gibbs is in the chat hanging out with us tonight. Gibbs, I hope you're doing well. Media Dude 95 is here. Cliff Booth, hope you're doing well. Ben Grimm, Dave Vanderhoff. Yeah, well, thank you all for tuning in tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Dan, where can we find you on social media?
Flesh Wound Features here on YouTube. And if you haven't had your fill of me on this show, I know we're doing an unboxing and probably talking a little bit about Vinegar Syndrome tonight, the sale that's coming up. Okay. Yeah, can add me Flesh Wound Dan, I believe it is, on Twitter and all that good stuff.
Are you guys going to be live for the Vinegar Syndrome reveal?
I believe so, yes. Yeah, we have a horror pack unboxing, and then I think we'll talk about that.
Okay, very cool. Mike, where can we find you on social media?
Only on the Twitter at BMovieMike. So if you have want to talk about movies or whatever, hit me up. No politics or goopy stuff because there's too much of that. But movies, sure.
They don't call him BMovieMike for nothing. Okay. It's not B Politics Mike.
Nope.
Or Be Goofy Mike. It's Be Movie Mike. Sam, where can we find you on social media?
Mostly just on Twitter, Sheeby_GBs, and I will be hopping on the Horror Rumble tomorrow with Cable Channel 11, Jess and Corey. They are doing the Horror Rumble about Nightmare on Elm Street, and I'm pretty excited because I don't have to prep for shit for that show. It's all burned into my brain. So
nice.
Check them out. The show starts at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Very cool.
Will you be mad if I shit talk Freddy's Dead?
No. I mean, I understand why. I was just, again, like, it's totally
I will
fine.
be. No, I'm just kidding.
Stone, where can we find you on social media?
Well, Stone Gasman on Twitter, and as always, every Saturday night at 9 p.m., I do a 50th anniversary audio commentary on my channel, Stone Gasman. This Saturday night at 9 p.m., I will be doing John Waters' Pink Flamingos, which just last year was inducted into the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress. And yes, this is the infamous movie where someone eats dog shit on camera.
Yes, it is.
We're all just going to have a Snickers bar and watch Stones stream.
If that's considered a national treasure, what does that say about our nation?
Exactly.
Jamie, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Jamie Kisses, or you can find me here on YouTube. I have a custom URL now, so it's at Jamie Hart.
All right, very cool. Very cool. Next Thursday over on my channel, I will be live streaming with Keith Gordon. So mark your calendars for that one. That's going to be a fun conversation. That's going to start at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. So a little early, but mark your calendars for that one. That'll be an interesting, fun chat. All right. Well, again, thanks for everybody for tuning in. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Always fun. We covered a lot of bases tonight. Covered a lot of bases. So, but that's what you get here. That's what you get here. We leave no bases uncovered. But take care. Have a great rest of your week, and we will see you again very, very soon. Peace.
Geriatrics.
Watch or be punished.
I was mild-mannered.